Now it's time for us to create our blog. Let's go over to the terminal and start to lay down the foundations for the module. First, let's create a post module. Ng generate module. Let's call it post and add to app. Now let's create a service. Let's call it also post and add it to the post module. And now let's create the components. We're gonna need a dashboard, a detail, a list, and a list item component. Ng generate C for component. Gonna be inside the post folder. Let's start with the post dashboard. Detail. List. And a list item. Now, I didn't show you before, but you can also use the Angular CLI to bootstrap a class for our module. And you do with the ng generate class inside the post folder. Let's call it post. But the reason I don't like to use it is because it just creates post.ts. It doesn't specify that it's a model. So let's rename it and add a module in here. The official Angular style guide recommends that we always name our files and reference what's inside. For example, we have a service, we have a module, and here we have a model. In the authentication, we also had the auth style. Now let's create a model. Get an ID. This will come from Firebase. An image. Author string, title. Content. See if it's draft or not. To be a boolean. We're going to add a claps feature to it. Is similar to the Medium website. Publish. Need to be a date. Okay, with that done, let's start to create our routes. Like in our post module, we don't need the commons module. We're gonna import the shared module. We're also gonna need to import the routes module from Angular. Let's add it to the top. Now in the imports array, let's add the router, and you're gonna pass the for child again and give the routes. So let's create that routes array. New instance of routes. And here we're gonna create two routes, one for the blog, which is gonna be the post list component, and a blog, and we're gonna pass it an ID for the blog detail. Takes a path, let's call it blog, and the component will be post list component. Next we have the blog post, which is going to take an ID parameter, and the component is the post detail. And the reason we're not adding the dashboard in here as a route is because we're going to insert that into the user's dashboard. But for that, we need to export the dashboard component so we can get it from the user's module. Here let's add a sports array and add the post dashboard component. Now let's add it to our users dashboard. To add, we're gonna use the selector that we gave in here. With our server running, let's go to the users dashboard. Okay, and we're going to add it in here for now. Just below the hero, let's add the app dashboard component. And now we got this error, and that's because we need to import the post module into our user module, so it can have access to its components. So in the users module, let's import just add to the imports array, save it. Now the error is gone, and we have our post dashboard works in here. Before we continue, let's take a look at the material design components. We are going to use a component called slide toggle, and we're going to use this for the user to set the post as a draft or published. So let's go ahead and import it to our app. Here now, let's go to the material module. And let's add to the arrays. Now this mat toggle is a gesture component. It requires access to the browser animation module, also from Hammer.js on the instructions on how to set up material Angular. If you scroll down, you see that you have to install the Angular animations, and you have to import the browser animations module. So in our app, we already imported the browser animations module here and added to the imports array. It's very important that you keep the browser's animation module under the browser module. It makes difference on what is imported first in here. Just keep that in mind. And we need to install Hammer.js for the gesture. So let's add Hammer.js, and then we need to import it to our main.js file. Let's open up our terminal. Let's yarn add Hammer.js. Now it's installed. Let's go to our main.js in here, in our source folder. We can just add the import in here. Now to test in our app, if we have everything we need, let's go import a toggle here in the example. Let's click here to show the source. If you scroll down, there is a mat slide toggle here. Let's just copy it and paste it into our post dashboard HTML. For now, let's just remove these ones. So we're just testing. So, and there we have it, our toggle. Okay, so we created our post module, gave it its routes. We added the post dashboard to our users module, and we created the basic structure for our post. In the next lesson, we're going to start to create our CRUD application. So I see you in the next lesson.